If beefing with Penguin Zero wasn't enough to get you shut down,
3 months you have continued to melt down about this. The day after I posted my response, you went on stream and had a huge unhinged tantrum and meltdown about the whole thing.
how about roasting Jiu-Jitsu and end up messing with a 5 times world champion?
Jiu-Jitsu is for autistic people.
It's like a master to the student. Actually, this is a leg heel lock.
And there's this guy named Sneako making fun of me. Let's have an MMA fight.
If that wasn't the deal breaker, maybe boxing the fighter of the year would work out instead. Sneako's recent actions have not only exploded his name online, but also given him one of the most controversial titles in the internet's history. Sneako's career started by posting simple videos such as the 1 Minute Podcast, where he would interview strangers outside about controversial topics.
You should have the choice to murder babies.
Well, when you put it like that, it's a little different.
During 2022 and the rise of Andrew Tate, Sneako began streaming daily to YouTube. However, after being banned from the platform, he would move over to Rumble to continue posting content. One of the most iconic moments in the early stages of Sneako's career is the online argument he had with Penguin Zero. Penguin Zero, or Charlie, would go on to make fun of a video that wasn't directly aimed at Sneako. But a few months later, Sneako would find Charlie's video and begin defending the victim. As his reaction progressed, he would end up making fun of Charlie's girlfriend.
I'm not gonna say names. Someone texted me. He's in a monogamous relationship. This is his girl. So there you go. I mean, I told you, like, I could hear it in your voice.
To which Penguin Zero would make a response video. The video was titled Sneako is Horrible, where he would go on to destroy everything he mentioned, including correcting his knowledge of guns.
How did we get to this point? Well, I made that video about Sneako and I fully planned on that being the only time I ever talked about this asshole. I really did. All I wanted to do was highlight why I personally don't respect him. I know a lot of people criticize me for not tackling his points, and to that I say, bah humbug, this goober didn't make any points. All he did was insult me and my girlfriend. He insulted me and my girlfriend because I made fun of one of his friend's blatantly fake stories. He resorted to childish name-calling like, I'm ugly, and I don't go outside. That's not making any points. Like, what am I supposed to debunk there? And I'm sorry to be that guy, this is like the grammar police of guns, but he's a f***ing imbecile. You absolute buffoon. What you have there is not clips. These are mags. They're mags, not clips, you absolute dummy. The same way that this is also a mag. They're all mags. Stop saying clips, you look f***ing stupid here.
But the worst part of this response video is when Penguin Zero brings up the fact that Sneako supported the sexualization of underage children.
Is because he publicly defends Cuties as one of his favorite movies. Cuties was a Netflix film that used real child actresses in sexual situations, so they sexualized real children. A fact that Sneako himself acknowledges, but writes off as being okay because it's realistic, because in the real world children get sexualized.
Cuties last night and it was pretty good. It's a pretty good movie. I went in ready to hate like everybody else. I saw the cover and I got clickbaited. So did you got clickbaited. The thing about Cuties is it's not an unrealistic film. Like, yes, it shows children in a sexual way, but this is not unusual now.
This was only the beginning of Sneako's downfall, as things would die down for a bit. But on January 7th, 2024, Sneako's name was trending once again. This time it was because of a jiu-jitsu fighter named Mikey Musumeci. Mikey ended up being in a clip on one of Sneako's streams. He is a 5 times world champion competitor and is known worldwide. However, whilst watching a clip of Mikey, this is what Sneako would have to say.
But
Jiu-Jitsu is for autistic people.
what I think of a master of jiu-jitsu is somebody that inspires another generation.
And this is a competition where it's an art and it's an art form, and I learned from the master.
He looks like Mark Zuckerberg. He shouldn't be winning.
So that's like a master to student. He's an idol of mine for being...
There's no exact reason as to why he said what he said, but it's not an uncommon occurrence from him. What was an uncommon occurrence was Mikey actually responding to Sneako, as he had extremely pissed him off to the point where he would post this video.
So today I'm going to talk about bullies. Bullies are weak people that make fun of others around them, that give themselves relevance and that make themselves feel good. They pick on the differences of humans, which is the most beautiful part of humans, their uniqueness. I really don't like bullies, guys. And there's this guy named Sneako making fun of me, making fun of my friend, making fun of jiu-jitsu. He calls himself a boxer. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. Let's have an MMA fight. I challenge Sneako to an MMA fight. I'm gonna shut his mouth and I'm gonna take the bully's lunch money.
And it would go on to gain over 3 million views. People backed Mikey, leaving comments reading, "This would be the worst night of Sneako's life," but others were stating, "Most random beef," and "The year just started." Sneako would ultimately accept the offer, but on one condition.
Mikey Musumeci, I accept your offer. I'm not gonna take any money. We don't need to do that at all. Because you're a world champion and I am a complete beginner and I have no idea how to do MMA, I don't. I've boxed a couple times, I've sparred, but I'm not a professional fighter like you are. So I think to make it fair, under one condition, I'm not gonna ask for a handicap. I'm just asking to have a conversation with your sparring partner, Mark Zuckerberg. I think that's how this all started. You said I was bullying you because I said you look like him, and I looked at your Instagram, you spar with him. You train, your buddies, your pals with Mark Zuckerberg.
Writing this down on paper seems a lot easier than it actually is. Even though Mikey knows Mark, the chance of him getting Mark to spend his free time talking to Sneako is practically zero. This would lead to Sneako backing out of the fight without physically saying no. Mikey would post one final response to him acknowledging that Sneako was too scared to fight, but ultimately the fight never happened, so the whole drama faded away. This didn't stop Sneako's fighting career, however, as he began frequently live streaming himself with other fighters in the gym who all seemed to help him out and teach him a few things on how to fight. But this is where it got even worse for Sneako. Imagine a man so aggressive that he has a desire to hurt people, and stated to himself that if he wasn't an MMA fighter, he would currently be in jail. Imagine this man being so aggressive that he would most likely be in trouble with the UFC. Now imagine this man in a boxing ring with Sneako. Oh wait, you don't have to. Sean Strickland is who I just described and is often seen as one of the angriest people on the planet, who will literally fight anyone and everyone.
Sean Strickland.
So you're not letting anybody, your wife, right?
Absolutely not, Sean. Absolutely not, Sean. We don't do that over here.
I respect that, bro.
Okay.
When we go fucking spar, bro, I heard we're gonna set that shit up and get it out.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready. I think that'd be fun.
Somehow Sneako found himself in the ring with Sean and the fight had started. But for some reason, Sneako didn't decide to wear any headgear. Sean began by using only a fraction of his energy to block Sneako's shots, and this is where Sneako realized he may have messed up. But at this point, it was already too late. As the clock slowly ticked down, Sean began getting much more aggressive towards Sneako and throwing hard punches directly towards his face. It got to the point where it was so bad that multiple towels were thrown to the ground to indicate Sean to end the fight, but he just didn't seem to care. It only ended when someone had to come in and break up the fight, but what was more impressive was the fact that Sneako managed to hold his ground and stood standing the entire time. He came off with a blood nose, but Sean and even the crowd began applauding him due to not falling to the ground.
You didn't fall down, Sneako. You didn't fall down.
This would be another iconic moment in Sneako's career, as after this fight was uploaded to social media, everyone in the comments would have split feelings about this situation. Some people would praise Sneako for standing up for himself. Sneako's not doing bad, bruh, this is like watching a cat play with a mouse before it eats it. While others would say, Sneako was just happy to have a father figure for 5 minutes. Afterwards, Sneako would publicly state on a podcast episode by Champ,
I think he's a perpetually angry person.
Yeah.
I think he's the type of guy where if he wasn't fighting, he would probably be in jail. And I don't mean that as an insult, I just mean that, and I think he would agree. I think he's the type of person without the UFC, like it would be bad. So he's just that type of guy, and he likes to hurt people. He enjoys it. I think that is very close to being a serial killer.
I've seen him say that on camera. He says he's a bad person.
It sounds like I'm insulting saying that, but he's just that type of person, and I think everybody could agree.
and clearly Sneako wasn't happy enough, as now there was a third spar that he would find himself in. this time with a bodybuilder named Bradley Martin. Just by comparing body sizes, you can tell a massive difference. Sneako being your average, short and skinny guy, but Bradley Martin being gigantic and almost triple his size. Bradley Martin isn't a new face to the internet, as he has appeared in other streamers' lives, like when he appeared with another controversial streamer, Neon, in the gym. However, this time when fighting, Sneako wasn't wearing any protection, which led him to being beaten up once again, but also chipping his tooth in the process. However, Sneako is still streaming daily on Rumble, and with a follower count of 387,000, his name won't be disappearing anytime soon.